All right, I believe we are rolling. I believe we are rolling. Yes, let's have a look. It shows there is a connection. Tick, the clock is running. Yes, okay, good. So, excuse me. We are connected. Greetings, good evening, good day, wherever you are. This is Tarot Illumination, okay? This is Tarot Illumination, and we are doing the March 2019 mini generic love and relationship reports. Okay, and this one's for Taurus, okay? There's going to be a whole playlist here. We're actually recording this live because it's the only way that I can actually make videos right now and get them loaded onto the channel. I don't have a choice. This is not normally how Tarot Illumination records the relationship or any kind of the regular playlists. We do the live events, that's a whole other thing, but doing the readings like this, it's still very new. Anyway, it's been interesting. So this one's all about you, Taurus, okay? Now, before I get into, I just have to do some basic housekeeping here. I highly recommend that you check out the Astro Doodles playlist for March, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or even cross-watching significant others. It will add extra depth and texture to this reading here right now at another time, okay? Next, if somebody wants to, you can get a personal reading. Check the links below. Next, membership. It's very important for the channel going forward. Having a stable, secure, long-term membership is the best way anyone can say thank you, and it's super affordable. It's about the price of a like a fancy cup of coffee once a month, okay? So the more we have, the more members we have, the better the channel gets for you guys. Also, if people want to, you can donate. You can check the links below, and there's also super chat. Either way, this is just information I'm presenting to you. Okay, here we go. I'm just scrolling through, and there it is. All right. Thank you so much for that. Now, hold on. Let me just get settled here. Excuse me. I'm sorry, this is basically work, so I'm having some fermented grape juice. Okay, there we go. It's just like what any working person does as they do their work. They nurture themselves. Okay, so when we do this reading, we're going to use the Tarot Illumination Crucible spread. You know, I use it for the same people all the time because it works and I love it. You know, we could do endless variations to stop the repetitiveness, but I like the stability of this little spread. And when we get into personal readings, actual live stuff like that, then we can get more complex if you want to. But for now, oh hey, Trinity Rising, I see you on the chat. Welcome, good evening. I'm sorry that you can't sleep, and I'm glad you're here. Just hang out. Regard this as, instead of Tarot Illumination, regard this as Tarotainment. There we go. How about that? This is Tarotainment. So don't even worry if you're a Taurus or not. Just, you know, just hang out. It's good to have you here. Yes, I'm very well. Thank you, Trinity. I'm very well. So we're going to use the Tarot Illumination Crucible spread. It's on the understanding that there is you, there is an other, okay, as often happens in relationships, and how most relationships are conducted between one and another. But the reality from Tarot Illumination perspective is that there's an awful lot more going on, and most of that stuff is intangible, invisible, and that is what we would call the relationship itself. And I think it has its own energy, definition, mission, purpose, life, and it even in Western astrology it even has its own chart. Okay, not you, not theirs, its own thing. So you guys own this thing, whether you like it or know it or not, okay? So when we look at relationships, I like to use the crucible spread because a crucible is a structure. It's a bowl like they use in laboratories. It's typically very, very thick, super high refractory ceramic, which is designed to withstand incredible pressures that happen under alchemical reactions in a laboratory. But that's the same thing that happens in human relationships, because there are certain things in terms of life, especially evolution, your own growth, your own adaptations, your own ability to create new life if you want to, that can only happen in some kind of relationship. So that's why I like to use this spread here. So you, the other, deeper inside of you, deeper inside of the other, and then the core of the relationship itself. So think of this as a pulsing, living thing. You're constantly transmitting and radiating energy. They are too, and so is your relationship. So what is the nature of your crucible? Is it very wobbly? Do you have good solid foundations? Is it porous? Is it very absorbent? Is it good for holding nutrients? And is it able to withstand intense pressures? All of those things we'll find out. Also, I think of this as external energy, environmental influences. The relationship itself is radiating energy and absorbing energy. So we need to understand that and know what that is, so you can make the best of all of this, okay, Taurus? Now, I'm just going to have one tiny glimpse at the Astro Doodle, and then we're going to move on, okay? So, this is your Tarot Lumination Astro Doodle for Taurus for March 2019. It might look very bizarre and weird to you, but it makes sense to Tarot Lumination, and I use these a lot in personal readings, okay? So there you go. We have a lot of energy piled up over here in 9th, 10th, and 10th, 11th, and 12th house and the first house. This is actually, some of this is not directly pertinent to love and relationship. The things that really stand out to me are, actually I should put that on here. Let's do that. I think it's March 23rd. Let me double check something. I'm doing this specifically and only for you, Tauruses. I'm illustrating the moon. Around the 22nd, 23rd, please consider moon in Scorpio, okay? Because that will be a significant time for you during March, okay? It'll be a 2.5 day period where you will get an awareness. It could be quite uncomfortable. It could be revealing. It's like the feeling of somebody, you're asleep at night, and you know, maybe you're drooling, or maybe you're contorted in a weird position, the sheets are off, or you're dreaming or whatever, and then somebody walks in your room and switches the lights on, and it's dark and it's nighttime, and it's not the sort of imagery or picture you would want displayed to the rest of the world, because it's unconscious. You don't really know what's happening. So all I'm suggesting is around March 23rd, please pay attention to what has culminated and manifested in your life during the month of March. Taurus also for most of March up to the 20th or so. It's a lot of Pisces energy over here, and that's quite harmonious and comfortable for you. But the real energy is all about over here with Mars and Uranus in Taurus happening right now. March is a huge gateway month for all Taurus as individuals, and how you transform, evolve, adapt, and grow is going to affect every other aspect of your life, every single thing, okay? Also, I don't want to get too stuck into the 11th and 12th house dynamics. It's too subtle and complex to do in this relationship report, and things are going to make a lot more sense when we get to late April and May, when the sun enters Taurus, okay? So let's just deal with what we've got for now. Okay, so I'm not going to dwell hardly at all on the Astro Doodles. We're going to go straight into it. Cards are already well shuffled in advance, but I'm going to go to the last second so that you're a witness. Thank you, Taurus, for your patience. I know you're very, very patient. Thank you so much. It's a huge deal for the whole planet, and especially for Taurus, how Mars is already in Taurus, and it's moving through all month in March, and Uranus changes finally after like 4 months now. It's finally in Taurus for the next 7 years. So put on your seatbelt, tighten it up, and get ready for a ride, okay, Taurus? Because it's going to affect the rest of your life. every single other house on your chart, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th charts. Each one of them is going to be affected as you transform and change and radically, literally radical change in yourself as an individual. Now, how other people are going to handle that, well, that's their problem, okay? It's not your problem. Your job is to be you. Your job is to love thyself more than ever before, and don't apologize for that. So what happens from there, we don't know. Uranus is the planet of unpredictability. So even if we could predict, we couldn't. There you go. Ha ha ha. All right, so here we go, Taurus. Bless this little deck. Bless every single card. Bless all of you for being here. This is a live recording of the reading because I don't have a choice. So even if you're not a Taurus, hang out anyway. I see you on the screen, Trinity. Oh dear, Sun and Moon in Taurus. Okay, so I hope this reading is relevant for you. Just chill back, hide under the covers, and take all of this in a very gentle, open-hearted, loving manner, okay? Also, by the way, Trinity, invite your invisible friends to hang out with you. Turn it into a love fest. They love to be invited to these kind of things, and rather than being taken for granted, okay? So this is you. What are you radiating, okay? Remember, Tarot Illumination talks in allegories, in metaphors to tell the story here. We're watching a movie, all right? And I'm now doing my best to narrate. You're always transmitting and receiving energy. Same thing with a significant other. By the way, everybody, watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if each one is different. Trinity has sun and moon, so this is 2 videos in 1 for her. Okay, next thing, another thing pointed out, I should have mentioned earlier, singles, you guys can even watch this if you want to, but I don't tell the future with Tarot Illumination. We focus on the energy. So if you're radiating this, what is the universe reflecting back to you? If you could just take a snapshot moment in that time, this would represent the other or the potential of another, okay? So please allow for that. Otherwise, the crucible spread is primarily designed for conscious relationship or even unconscious relationship between self and a significant other where both parties are already identified, okay? Let's have a look over here deep inside of you, deep inside of the other, and then to the core of the relationship itself. So I'm hoping you can see that as the crucible itself, okay? This is the structure. You guys own this. Think of it as a business. What are you doing with your business? Are you running it into the ground to bankruptcy? Are you investing? Are you harvesting? Whatever it is. What is being fermented here? What are you growing? Think of it as a plant, a business. Evolve, adapt, grow, or die. Okay, that's the pressure right now through this whole March spread. Okay, for the whole playlist. So now we're going to look at this card, which corresponds to, I'm going to try and correlate this to the illustration here. We're going to look at this, okay? So let's have a look. Let's get started. So you had the Page of Swords. My feeling is that with this, there's going to be a very kind of, I think of it as subtle messages and communications that are going to happen between yourself and a significant other in order for you, Taurus, to evolve and grow, and just for you to be you, where it might not be comfortable to do this. I see this as the vigilante, the whistleblower, and I think it's on yourself. It's almost like you're basically coming up and facing certain realities. It could be to do with that energy in the 12th house and the 6th house. It's a very delicate, awkward energy to handle. So I think what could be happening here is that when you look around you, what is being reflected back to you from the universe about you and your relationship and yourself with each other, it's almost like, hey honey, we need to talk. It doesn't have to be anything serious, but sometimes you know how relationships are operating on autopilot, and a lot of times people deliberately try to put everything on autopilot so they don't have to deal with the really difficult, very subtle, challenging stuff that's happening just below the surface. A lot of people operate that way. It's a matter of convenience. It's understandable, especially if you're in a state of comfort and stability. Then the last thing anybody wants is for that to be messed up. But for, again, against all human desire, that's almost like a recipe for, looking for trouble. Like if you're a farmer and you're a dairy farmer, you need stability, so you create those kind of stabilities. But you still have to deal with the instabilities, like change of weather, change of season, change of markets, change of prices, or whatever. So even a very, very grounded Taurian type energy is still under pressure to change and evolve and to grow and adapt, despite the desire and the natural tendency for stability, safety, and comfort. Okay, so my feeling is that right now, for your best interests, for their best interests, and for the best interests of the relationship, my feeling is that you're becoming aware that, like, we need to talk. We need to, like, get real. We need to define things like, what is it that is working about who we are and what we've got? And by the way, while we're making lists, what is not working about who we are and what we've got? And what are we going to do about all of this stuff? It's just like good management. I see it as good management where, like, every week you have like a board meeting. Let's pretend there's you and the other. Pretend this is a business that you guys own. There's you, there's the other. You own this thing. If you're just going to let it live and grow in a haphazard manner, you're going to end up in a roadside ditch. But when you look at this thing as an enterprise, something good that you own and that you're already vested in it, whether you like it or know it or not, then it's really helpful and useful, just like they would do in any corporation, to hold a board meeting every month. I know it sounds very unromantic, but it would be literally like maybe even just going out to dinner, or making or like a little breakfast meeting or something like, hey, let's just do the weekly or monthly appraisal. What's going well about this month? What's not going well about this month? What are we going to do about it? How are we going to celebrate this good stuff? How are we going to mitigate the rough stuff? It's good business. That's good business. Okay? I know it sounds like a very weird way to run a relationship, but relationships take work. They take time, they take energy, they take investment. You just can't run them on autopilot like driving a car and just putting gasoline in. There's so much more that you have to do with a car besides putting in gasoline and running it. There's oil, power steering fluid, maintenance, tire pressures, power steering fluid, shock absorbers, windshield wipe, all of it, a ton of stuff. Alignment, everything. Alignment, very, very important. So let's have a look. What about you? Pow! Judgment. My feeling with Judgment is that this is a very beautiful, neutral energy. And it's like you're getting exactly what you deserve. And it's like, it's really, really wholesome. It's just like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. All the bad stuff that I knew and that they knew and that we all knew together, that's not cool and that's not working, that's what it is. And we need to know that. And we're also enjoying the good stuff that is working. We needed to know that. And that's very liberating when you see everything for how it is, where, like, you realize, how some people see relationships as constricting, binding. They have those slang things like, oh, the ball and chain, I'm strapped, I'm connected with so-and-so. It's just unending grief. She's always on at me about that. He's always on at me about that. Okay, all right. But there are other aspects to relationship where, in other words, in terms of like where we deal with it with Terra Lumination, if you look at the juicy, the good stuff here, even the challenging things, if you look at them as environmental pressures for you to evolve and grow, then you can see it that way. You can extract the value of the relationship, and therein lies your freedom. If you, in other words, if you, Taurus, are sensing that your relationship is shackled and it's binding, then obviously there's something wrong. You're doing something wrong, they're doing something wrong, or something that needs to be examined about your relationship. You need to figure that out. You guys need to call that out and figure out what's not working and what are we going to do about it. And not worrying about like the side effects, not worrying about whether you hurt their feelings or whether they hurt your feelings for doing what has to be done to keep things going. And actually doing the work, doing the maintenance, calling out what has to be called out can be very, very liberating, especially if there's been a lot of stuff that's been buried and simmering and just festering in there. When you deal with that stuff and you open the door to reveal what needs to be healed, we do that a lot in Tarot Illumination, you've got to reveal it to heal it, then that can be very, very liberating. It's like finally getting a diagnosis about what is wrong. A lot of people don't want to deal with that stuff. Okay, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat. I'm actually talking about this thing here. The 12th house and the 6th house, okay? Very hard energy to handle, very hard to understand, very hard to diagnose, very hard to fix. But if you're willing to do that, it can be incredibly satisfying. Like when you've got some kind of really, think of the car analogy, you've got some really niggly, annoying thing that's been going on forever. You just still can't pinpoint what it is, even if you've been to 4 dealerships. And then suddenly you figure it out. Oh my God, I had that old set of keys and it was just stuck down there between the seat and it was been rattling. That's all it was. Yay, I'm free. I'm free of my problems. You get to be free. Also, with this Judgment card, I'm reading a huge amount into this single card, okay, Taurus? This is very much about the Mars and Taurus energy blasting open the gates for you, Taurus, to radically shift, change, evolve, grow, and adapt over the next 7-year journey as Uranus moves through Taurus, your sign. So this is going to be radical liberation. You could be just trucking along for days, weeks, months, and then suddenly, kablam, something hits you in your life. An event, an experience, something outside of you, not you, but it impacts you in such a way that you realize it's almost like shocking. And then if you don't take it personally, you regard that as energy, information, highly valuable information and experience from the universe that you needed in order to evolve and grow, then that becomes very, very liberating. You realize Uranus in Taurus actually wants me to go through radical shifts in order to evolve and grow. Shifts and radical changes that you would probably not normally seek out, Taurus, because the last thing you want would be to normally shift or change or have to bust up the status quo or bust up everything that's working in order to evolve and grow. However, it is inevitable, so you might as well get used to it. Please see it as a chance and opportunity for freedom and liberation. What about the other? Okay, with the Queen of Wands here, my feeling is that in some ways, I don't know who the other party is, Taurus, but you, in your radical shifts and changes that are inevitably going to happen to you, and your ability to handle them or die, evolve, adapt, shift, change, grow, or die, that becomes almost like your calling card. Like, look at me, I'm Taurus. I'm exactly the person you would imagine would never, ever be able to handle this Uranus and Taurus energy. But look at me now. Kerblam. This is me, Taurus. Changing, evolving, radical. How cool is that? And the other party goes like, actually, that's an inspiration. Because you're the very last person I would have ever expected to either get turned on or see this as the opportunity or the amazing situation that it is. You're actually an inspiration to me, and this makes me feel cool because then it gives me permission to do whatever kind of crazy evolutionary stuff I have to do in my own chart with my other readings from Tarot Illumination. Thank you very much. So with the Queen of Wands and Queen of Wands energy over here being radiated by this significant other, this other party, my feeling is also that they, it's like, because this is a relationship thing, they are very much into you and your own evolutionary thing. It's like, wow, this is really, really cool. Like, I love seeing you evolve. I totally dig who you are and what you're doing. I am there for you. I love to, what do you need from me? What do you need from me? What can I do? What can I do to help? I'm the Queen of Wands. I have immense power at my disposal. I can do amazing things just with one wave of my wand, and I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I can get in there. I can be like, who do you need me to be right now? What can I do? Tell me from your perspective, having called us out, having called me out, having called yourself out, having called out the relationship, pulling the Page of Swords card about us, what do I need to know? Please, I want to evolve and grow and change and adapt just like you. Wow, thank you. That's amazing. You're really, really there for me like that? Oh yeah, because I see how you benefit me. I might be an inspiration to you, and I'm very proud of that. Yes, and I agree, you are an amazing inspiration to me. But that comes back at me too. So it's like a mutual appreciation thing. Like, we're actually good for each other in that way, even if it's challenging. Yeah. Wow, cool. Again, what more can I do for you? It's almost like you're turning me on. You turn me on. I really want to be this person for you, because I know I'm going to learn so much and evolve and grow just from that. Cool. Wow. Okay, deep down inside. Okay, with the Six of Pentacles here, my feeling is that it's about time. It's about freaking time for you, Taurus, where you're starting to see that reciprocation. You're starting to see in a physical, measurable, tangible ways, either in conversation, in the investment of time, resources, energy, commitment, you being there for them, them being there for you, but very much more about them being there for you in terms of your own. I see this as, I don't normally see it like this way, Taurus, in readings, but I see this energy over here as very, very important for you, in that you have a significant other out there who's deeply invested in your liberation, your new you. And in some way, shape, or form, and deep down, my feeling is that you're sensing it, and you can measure it, like you can actually see it in their behavior, their actions. Like they could be encouraging you to do this, encouraging you to do that, warning you about what not to do if you're, slipping off path. All about that. So it's time for you to be on the receiving end of the energy of investment from a loved one to you, because it's very evident also that you have probably done a lot of love and giving of energy and time in investment in the relationship itself already. So it's like a harmonization, it's a balancing, it's a healing, it's a homogenization of what's happening in relationship, where it's a balancing. It's very much about balancing now, where you don't have to do all the giving anymore. You can now receive, and they don't have to do all the giving. They can receive the benefits from you, but it's not in any ways that either of you could have ever predicted. You're only just going to start to get glimpses of it now, about what I'm really talking about with this card coming in March. You're just going to get a glimpse now, but this will be much more evident over the years to come. I know that sounds crazy for one tiny little reading, but I see this as having huge ramifications, okay? Just the little Six of Pentacles, okay? So my feeling is this, like, This is a time of reckoning, and you feel it deep, deep down in your physical body. You're the sign of matter, physical matter, of making things, being things, like things that you can touch, like glass, gold, metal, silver, dirt, land, animals, oceans, water, rocks, all these things, the physical substance of life and world. And it's time for you. It is you're already sensing like the goodness coming at you in measurable terms. When I see Pentacles in a love reading, I see that as tokens of love, and it's coming to you, and it's about time. Okay, it might be in little bits and pieces, incremental, but it's coming your way, and it's coming your way with kindness and with generosity and with all the best of intentions. Like, people really want this to happen for you. Okay, what about the other? Whoa, this is heavy duty. Well, with the Knight of Wands energy here, whatever what I was saying about the Queen of Wands energy being there for you, like they are inspired by you and the radical shifts and changes that you're going to inevitably have to endure. And that makes them almost like a sense like they want to be your champion. Like they're like you're almost like they are your number one super fan. Okay, I don't know if all Tauruses are going to feel or sense this, but that's what I'm feeling here. They're like your number one super fan, and in case you ever forget, they are going to remind you. Okay, they're going to remind you. They're actually going to nudge you, like, don't forget, I am here for you. I want you to change, evolve, and grow. I want you to feel nurtured. I want you to feel loved. I want you to feel valued. And I might not know what that means or how to do it, because I'm just wild crazy about this whole thing, because I benefit personally. I benefit personally from your own growth and health and evolution. Okay? And so they see it as a worthy investment to pump more passion, more desire, more whatever you think is good to you and to the relationship, because they benefit. It's like a win-win, like a win-win situation. I don't often see these types of readings where there's so much energy, I feel, that's posited on this side of the story, even though you're the hero of this movie. This is a very important character in your life, Taurus. What about the core here? Okay, so my feeling, this to me this is beautiful, because my feeling is that in a very kind of shy, demure way, you, Taurus, are getting a glimpse of, like, it's almost like real classic Taurus energy, the matter, the substance, the wealth, the beauty of who you are in the context of a relationship. And again, like all these relationship readings, a lot of these things a lot of spiritual growth, healing, evolution, love cannot happen or grow or mature except in the context of relationship, especially a loving, chosen relationship. You can do it the hard way in an abusive relationship and learn a lot about what doesn't work, and then eventually you'll get into something that does work. But if you're at a point where you're already in the zone where something is working, to me this looks like radical opportunities to increase that to happen. Like, if you're used to being like really like muted and dumbed down and basically maybe like self-conscious or scared about your own beauty, your own richness, your own abundance, your own radiance, your own wealth, your own value to yourself and to others and to the world around you, my feeling is that you're going to become aware in the context of relationship, especially through reflection from a significant other who is there for you, like a champion for you in some way or other. It's not like they're necessarily trying to get with you or anything. It's just that It's just like, I think they are really getting off on you evolving and growing. It's just like, wow, if Taurus can handle it, whew, then maybe I have a chance. I support you. What do you need me to do? And then you're just not used to seeing that. You're just not used to being valued or appreciated or regarded with by others with like having so much like beauty or abundance or value and significance and stuff that like something that's really valuable to others. It's just like, this could be from anybody, friends, family, community, whatever it is. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to cheat again. Over here, okay, your place in the world, your community, and the healing. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. And so you might be starting to look in the mirror and seeing more and more and more how beautiful you are. You know, even guys, see yourself as beautiful, okay? You don't necessarily have to be masculine. You can be beautiful whether you're male or female, okay? And I'm not talking about physical beauty. I'm talking about beauty of the depth of the soul, okay? Let's have a look over here. So what is being nurtured, fostered? What is being fermented here, whether you like it or know it or not? Okay, so with the Page of Pentacles, more and more Pentacles, I see this as highly tangible, highly physical, measurable evidence of what we're already talking about here. And it's at the very early stages. I see all of this as very symbolic of the gateway month. March is the gateway month where that big shift of Uranus into Taurus, where the doors are blasted open through the gateway by Mars and Taurus. This thing right here on the Astro Doodle, check out the playlist, okay? And what's happening, it's almost like you get to see your whole life, your whole world, like almost from scratch again, where you can recalibrate everything and where everything has a greater chance of being harmonized and coming into balance in a way that is abundant and that works for you. For you, because if that works for you, it's good for them, it's good for the relationship, it's good for the whole world. So you're seeing how by allowing yourself to adapt, change, evolve, and grow, or if not, then you die, then you see how it's a good thing. Like the radical liberations that are happening for you in unpredictable, indescribable ways, but you will know them when they happen. You're going to get a glimpse now in March. What it does, it puts you in a position where the relationship, remember this is not a couples reading, it's all about you, Taurus, but we're allowing for the co-star in the movie. You're the star, they're the co-star, and so you get to a point with the Page of Pentacles, you start to see the early stages of like, wow, I must be doing something right with my talents and gifts and resources, which is all about Taurus energy anyway. That's very cool. You need to know that. It's, in other words, it's really, really good in your innocence. Remember, in terms of evolution, we're always innocent. We're always facing the unknown, which is the scariest thing of all for most people. Facing the unknown rather than the status quo. Taurus, you can be so embedded into what is, what exists already, the status quo, and the things that are already tangible, and then knowing that you're going to have to call it out because you feel the inevitable pressures of change, and you're basically saying, okay, well, bring it on. We're going to have to figure it out anyway. And you're getting the glimpses. You're getting to see how it works and why it works. And it's tangible. It's measurable. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy and fun all the time, but you can see the benefits. You can see the value, okay? The value of yourself, the value of another, the value of the relationship, and how relationships, they can be the most intensely challenging things of all, okay? This can be intensely challenging, but you can see the growth here. You can see the goodness that comes here out of this. This is very, very wholesome. It's very much in alignment with what's good for Taurus, But this is very new. Like, we can't predict years ahead from here, but this is really, to me, this is very good news for you, Taurus. And it wouldn't happen without an awareness of what we were talking about or the context of the relationship. Okay? Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get something out of it. Please do what you have to do. Reinterpret however you want. Watch Sun, Moon, and Rising. Cross-watch for significant others. Watch the Astro doodles. I'll just run this by you again, guys. Separate playlist, Astro doodles. Personal readings. Check the links. Membership. Check the links. Very important. Donations and all that. Links, super chat, whatever is. We'll do all that. Thank you very, very much. Have a blessed March. I love doing this for you guys. Thank you, and bye-bye for now. I'm just going to say goodnight to everybody on the screen. Bye-bye, Mona. Bye-bye, Trinity. Bye-bye. Thank you so, so much. Take care. Blessings.